Lake Ngami, one of the most important water bodies of the Kalahari, breathes. Over time, the lake is emptied or filled with the flow of water from the Okavango Delta. During the filling periods, fishing becomes an important activity that provides sustenance to the good part of the inhabitants of the area. In periods of low water, the fisheries almost disappear or are limited to small pockets of subsistence farming. Many areas become arable and allow small-scale farming. Life is sustained by water that in its cyclic flow gives way to human activities that are traditionally adapted to the phases of the lake. Also, cattle, wildlife and birds congregate on the lake where they have abundance of food and water. This dependence between the cycles of the lake and the activities of the surrounding human communities means that any change in the water patterns or the surrounding ecosystem affects the livelihoods of the inhabitants of the area.
Now, Lake Ngami is a large water body that supports both livestock and wildlife, but it's a lake that dries up and fills up in a 20-year cycle. But also what happens is that when the lake fills up, it means it takes up the grazing area. And there's this deposition of very fertile nutrients which comes with the water, and so there's lots of growth. This is bush encroachment growth, and as the lake dries up, then this bush encroachment shoots up and takes up grazing area.
Bontsi jwa rona ka kwano re lebile thata mo lake. Kana lake ke so se tona. Bolele jwane is 30 kilometers. Me bophara jwane is 10 kilometers. Ko re khona go bona botona ja yone me e re tsentse go gare. Kana re metse e 6 me rona re kota re go ga e yone go gare. So re beile thata mo go yone rote.
The bush encroachment shoots up very, very fast. And this bush encroachment actually blocks movement of livestock, also blocks movement of people. The lake bed area is also used for agriculture, what's called flood recession farming. The bush encroachment is a problem in the sense that people are not able to do flood recession farming, and then the livestock is not able to get grazing. So the environment project was actually to get rid of the bush encroachment.
Bush encroachment species are also thorny plants between which moving becomes difficult, sometimes preventing access to certain areas.
As I have said, that here 90% of us rely on lake as a source of water for our livestock. So because now the lake is drying, the question is, how are we going to live now? Now we've moved from that traditional one. That's why now we have this project of charcoal. It shows that we have shifted, which emphasizes more on empowering the local communities. We don't want to cry anymore. Now we are making charcoal from the trees.
It is important to find economic alternatives that allow the subsistence of the local population of the area, at the same time help to control the proliferation of these plants and be environmentally sustainable. One of the most effective ways to control the expansion of invasive species is to convert them into economic resources to be exploited, or generate economic activities that require their eradication so that their removal can become a source of livelihood and create employment. In 2013, the Lake Ngami Conservation Trust was created in order to control illegal fishing while developing economic alternatives. The Ministry of Environment, along with the UNDP and the Lake Ngami Conservation Trust, in a joint effort to promote the SDGs, have launched a project to produce charcoal in the lake area by adding value to the natural resources of the surrounding areas of the lake.
So we've worked with the Department of Forestry in the Ministry of Environment to work with them to see how we can take down the Acacia species and turn it into a resource. And that has been done through the making of charcoal. And now we've been able to set up with local trusts the whole charcoal businesses.
Charcoal training is less talking and more practical.
So the project also supported the trust with packaging material, professionally made, so that the product can go straight into the market once it is produced.
The creation of economic opportunities in an area so dependent on its environment is vital to avoid resorting to illegal activities that damage the environment and preserves the lake's biosphere as much as possible. Charcoal production not only generates economic benefits for the community, but also environmental benefits. It reduces bush encroachment, allowing the return of the grassland, and with it, wildlife, and better possibilities for raising livestock. The production of charcoal based on invasive plant species can spread to other areas of the country where there's an invasion of alien species affecting indigenous habitats. Such as in the area of Khanti, southern Kalahari, Borovast, with the problem of invasion by an alien invasive species, Prosopis juliflora. Prosopis exploits the native species and imposes itself as the dominant species, seriously affecting the biodiversity of the area and breaking the balance of the ecosystems linked to the original vegetation. Turn this threat into an opportunity, looking for ways to neutralize the problem and let it become a solution. Sustainability is the way to make the project and the future of the communities that live in the lake viable.
The idea is to replicate that even on a larger scale. And earlier we talked about looking at Botswana's renewable energy targets. Here is a nuisance that can be turned into a renewable energy type. Here is an opportunity to turn it into a renewable energy type. And we're excited because now in Kalahari and Hansi, we want to expand that and again help to contribute for Botswana meeting its targets on renewable energy.
This example of the charcoal production is an enterprise that youth can go into. The market is very large and there's space for everybody to actually do it, and there are different aspects of the chain in which they can actually fit in.
I promise them that we are going to sustain this project so that the future generation going to benefit from it. So that's our main idea. Sustainability, that's what we are going to do.